What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Throwdown. For all of you, today we are doing a workout written by yours truly. He told me to write a workout that would be something that I would enjoy doing, and movements that came to mind were muscle-ups, handstand walks, pistols. I do like a barbell, so I decided to add that in place of those pistols. And so what we're looking at today is a 10-8-6-4-2 for time with bar muscle-ups as the first movement. So you'll get through 10 bar muscle-ups. Your handstand walk, 15 feet, is gonna be your transition to and from the barbell. So after doing your 10 bar muscle-ups, you'll kick up behind the line, 15-foot handstand walk down to your barbell. Once your hands cross, you'll do 10 squat clean thrusters, or clusters, as some folks say. After you've done 10 clusters at 155 for the gentlemen, 105 for the ladies, you'll kick up behind that line, handstand walk back down to the pull-up bar, and you'll do 8 bar muscle-ups, etc., all the way through until you have finished your second cluster, and then time will be called. We've got an 18-minute cap on this one. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Training TTT THROWDOWN 23!
Hey my friends, welcome back to the Throwdown. My name's Brandon Dorman.
I'm Max 𝐷𝐻.
I'm Mia Gianelli.
We are back at individual qualifier style workouts. This is where we announce a workout and invite all of you to do it with our training think tank community.
This week we have Noah Ohlsen demoing the workout, a workout that he wrote.
Make sure you stick around after the demo. We'll give you movement standards for the workout. We'll give you a comprehensive warm-up for handstand walks since they have to be in 15 feet unbroken. And then we'll help you separate yourself from the pack on this workout with some tips. And we've begun. Noah's training workout that he wrote, it's going to be pretty unrealistic for almost everybody watching because he wrote it for himself to crush, so it's right up his wheelhouse. Everything pretty much is going to be unbroken, quick transitions, and fast singles. So that's kind of unrealistic for people to assume that anyone's going to be able to do that.
But what we can look at is how the normal person would approach this workout, and obviously with 30 bar muscle ups and then quite a few handstand walks, you gotta strategize how you're gonna maximize your time.
Yeah. So for, I guess since we're in the 10s right now, you can just see like his sense of urgency is so fast, like right off the bar, right down to the handstand walk, right finishing the handstand walk, right to the barbell, dropping it, picking it right back up. I know for myself, that just would lead to either failing on the handstand walk, blowing my heart rate up, or failing on the bar muscle up. So my strategy was just to do 10 unbroken bar muscle ups, take a quick slow transition and just try to keep moving slow and continuous and do it by feel. And I did that just to take a risk since we're in the off season. But what other kind of strategies did you see as we were going through the day here?
So I think it's about, for people who can't move this quickly, which is most people, how to rest as much as you need, but not too much. And I think you can kind of look at it as which movement is your, like where you need to pay the most attention to make sure that you either don't fail your handstand walk, or maybe you need to take a longer break before your first set of bar muscle ups so that you can get a good set in. And then pick a point where you can actually push the transition no matter what. So if you're strong on the barbell, maybe you take those longer rest periods going into the handstand walk, into the bar muscle ups, but keep yourself on a count for your rest on the squat clean thrusters to make up time.
Yeah, so it's kind of just like a limitation-based strategy. I think for most people, the two biggest limitations in this are going to be the bar muscle ups or the handstand walk, but I actually did see people on site that did that really well and just had trouble cycling the barbell, because I guess for a squat clean thruster, it could be a pretty big percentage of somebody's 1 rep max.
Yeah, like you said, it's gonna be so individualistic. And so like Mia had Deb go, and I had Allie going at the same time, and they're similar probably in some respects, but like for example, Deb's bar muscle ups were much cleaner, and she was able to do bigger chunks, faster rest breaks, whereas Allie, she's better on the barbell, but much slower on the bar muscle up. So the way I had her strategize was, hey, we're gonna take these breaks, set a linear rest time for all of your bar muscle ups, and then be more aggressive on the barbell. So you gotta look at it based on kind of where your strengths and limitations are.
Do you think it's worth anybody doing touch and go on the squat clean thrusters?
I think it just takes so much effort. Like even, someone like Noah or Travis is right behind them, they chose singles the entire time. It's almost just as fast in this workout if it means that you can get to your handstand walk quicker, and for them, that's what it's about, is the transitions.
Yeah, so Noah, I know, did 2 touch and go at the end. I feel like maybe doing the 4 and the 2. Had he done this again, knowing that he probably could have still done 4, walked quick, 2 bar muscle ups, walk back, 2 touch and go. But anything prior to that, and if you're not an elite athlete, I say singles all the way for that. And just use some sort of planned strategy for how much rest time is in between that. I actually have a hard time figuring out pacing with singles because I drop the bar, step back away from the bar, step back up, get set up, and it ends up being like 5 seconds before I'm picking the bar up. Whereas just watching them, it's pretty quick when they're doing singles. They're like 2 or 3 seconds between reps, and over the course of 30, that's a whole minute of time just in like the sense of urgency to pick it back up.
Maybe it's something like setting a rule for your footwork. Like when you drop the bar, you can only move your feet towards the bar versus away. I know that with Deb, that was the issue, is she would drop the bar, step away, crouch down, then walk forward, and that's just so much time lost, even though she is so good at the other movements. Finding some sort of pace that she can hold on to on the barbell, she would have beaten.
I really like that rule. I've tried to coach people to do a half step back and a half step right back into the bar, and one foot kind of stays right next to the bar, because that gives you the rest break, but it also kind of forces you to get right back down on it. And obviously, like for these higher level athletes, Noah, or watching Travis do the fast singles, they're just kind of going into it. But having some kind of rhythm, I think, will help.
Yeah. It's interesting that there's just levels to athletic development in every sport. Like for some people watching, maybe just making sure that your movement quality is really good at that 155 and just making sure that each rep is clean, that you have a smooth press out, a smooth lockout. And then once you can do that in this volume to beat the time cap, then you start working on like the next level of skills. And we all have skills to work on, like even watching Noah do this. If this were an open workout and he had to go as fast as possible, there's going to be, 10 or 15 seconds of extra, like even right here, that, maybe cutting 2 seconds out of that transition before he starts his handstand walk, or when he finishes this handstand walk, that's 2 breaths, 3 breaths, shake out, 4 breaths, hands on. So like for him, if this is like, hey, I want to be the best in the world, then that needs to be cut out. For most people watching, for myself, that's an irrelevant technical thing, but it's at least something to look at and appreciate, that there's always things that we could do to get better.
Another thing to note is that this handstand walk standard is harder than the open. 15 feet unbroken versus in the open, it's always been 5 feet, so you can take a little bit more risk. Whereas here, if you get 7 feet in and you fall, then that sucks. That's a lot of wasted effort. So something to keep in mind as you're coming up with your rest breaks and your strategies. There's more to lose.
Yeah. With that said, though, I think that this is the time, like Max said earlier, of the year that you should be taking those risks and seeing if you can go unbroken. And I've found that, especially if you're proficient at handstand walking, even if you have a really high heart rate or high respiration, you probably can do the 15 feet. So right now, take those risks, and then you can kind of put that in your toolbox of, hey, my heart rate's really high, but I can still kick and go like Noah is here.
Yeah, it definitely does. I don't know what it is about inverting, but it seems to take pressure off of heart rate and breathing. It's still hard to do and coordinate and keep your midline tight. Oh, here's touch and go to the finish.
Yeah, really
and
good.
Done at 6:35. We're going to leave it on for a little while. Watch Travis finish up. I think he's going to go back to his set of 4 right now, right?
Yeah.
So he's far behind. It was definitely not the best execution of workout. And in comparison to Noah writing the workout for himself, not optimal.
What are the movements that I like most?
We should do that with Travis one time. Just be rowing and wall balls.
Double unders.
Be 19.1.
No, he'd put like a 250 double under buy-in and buy-out, I think.
Oh, yeah, true.
Finish that.
Yeah, something like
something
that.
Crazy.
Yeah. Kyle Bernier, I think, is finishing up right here, so he's about 45 seconds behind. It's a really good execution for him.
Yeah, I mean, what you saw between Kyle and Noah, the difference there on that, let's say 1 minute or almost a minute, was mostly the barbell speed. Kyle's bar muscle-ups were almost as fast, and his handstand walks, he was kicking a fast transition. So, but little things like that end up adding up to a minute of total time. If like 2 seconds slower on each single, it adds up a lot in a workout like this.
Yeah. So as Trav finishes up, I think just to kind of summarize some of the points, you got to strategize this independently. If bar muscle-ups is a limitation, then small sets right out of the gate, maybe even doubles, or one bigger set like 4, 2, 2, 2, something like that, and just try to be as disciplined as possible with the amount of rest time between those. If it's handstand walk, then I think the only way to kind of ensure that that stays kind of dialed in is the transition time from finishing either the bar muscle ups or the squat clean thruster into the handstand walk, just kind of getting your composure. And for the barbell, I think that one's kind of just self-regulated. Your speed is going to be dictated by what your capacity is. So make sure you set your strategy up. Hopefully those demos were helpful and maybe somebody out there can beat Noah's score. No, doubtful. You just watched Noah Ohlsen, reigning second fittest man on earth in our demo. Top score at 635. Kyle B was at 717, and then Travis at 819. On the female side, best score was Allie at 948, Kylie at 1010, and Deb at 1054.
All right, guys, we are gonna get into the standards for this workout. On the bar muscle up, you guys are obviously gonna jump up, come to a full hang below the bar. You're gonna lock your arms out with your shoulders in front of or over the bar at the top. Pretty simple there. The handstand walk. We're gonna start with our hands behind the line, right? Every piece of your hand behind the line, and then your hands have to get fully across the line for that rep to count, and each 15-foot section has to be done unbroken. Little twist there. Big question on the cluster. By definition, that is a squat clean thruster. On a thruster, you can't typically re-dip under the bar, so same thing goes here. You guys are not gonna be able to re-dip that jerk. It's gonna be all the way down, all the way up, full lockout. I think that covers just about everything. Starts with bar muscle ups, finishes with the final set of 2 clusters.
Hey, we know handstand walks are challenging, especially when they have to be 15 feet unbroken, so we didn't want you to have to think about it. Here's just a quick and easy warm-up that you can follow along. Mia's gonna demo and I'll talk over it. First movement is gonna be an interlaced wrist car. We're gonna go into ulnar and radial deviation, deep flexion and extension. We'll do 8 to 10 each way. Next, we will do a wrist rock on the ground. We'll go into deep flexion and extension, so after she does these with her palms down, she'll go palms up. We'll rock back. Try to keep your elbows straight. So now Mia will kick up on the wall. She's going to do a reach through. So basically her chest is going to be pressed through. Try to get into deep shoulder flexion. And then she'll bring her chest back towards the wall. Again, 8 to 10 reps. So we'll kick back to the wall. We'll do 6 to 8 weight shifts aside. Basically just trying to get a feel of getting on your hands and shifting weight. And then we'll do 6 to 8 shoulder taps. So now you're getting the feel of keeping one arm straight, bringing the other arm up. All right, so the next movement's going to be a handstand kick up. We're trying to we have the line there so you can practice kicking up behind the line, make sure that you don't get any no reps in the workout. This is a great way to get a feel for it before you actually start walking. All right, so the last movement, we'll actually start walking. We're gonna kick up behind the line so that we can practice that, and then just walk in 5-foot, 10-foot segments. Make sure that you get a feel for kicking up and then moving quickly.
You want me to say we crushed that commentary?
Just like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So that confidently.
Well, since we crushed that commentary, now we'll break the workout down for you.
Yeah. And she'll take your line.
So stupid.
Get out of here. The new star of the show.
Oh, sorry.
All right, we're gonna talk about a way that you can separate yourself in a workout like this. There are 3 movements. The first one is bar muscle ups. Obviously, we watched Noah do all of those unbroken. Most of us will not be able to do that. What I had my athletes do is break their bar muscle ups based on the...
Mar muscle ups?
What the heck?
What's a bar muscle up?
The bar muscle ups are very important. Max, you wanna talk about the bar muscle ups?
No, I want to talk about handstand walk. That's my movement.
Break the bar muscle ups into sets that you can manage and try to keep your rest breaks as linear as possible throughout. If you want to start with one big chunk, maybe that's 5 or 6 and then do 2 on the first set and the same thing on the 8s. That may work for you, but make sure that there isn't a long rest break in the bar muscle ups. I said it correctly that time.
Yes.
Mia, hit us off with some clusters.
You skipped me. Handstand walking. For the handstand walk, it has to be unbroken, so there's not that much strategy around how you break it up. It's more going to be about A, warming up correctly, which is why we gave you a warm-up to make sure that feels as dialed in as possible before you start. And B, it's about the transitional time before you actually kick up onto your hands. So make sure that if you're really good at handstand walk, you can have that kind of quick, urgent transition that you saw Noah do. If you don't have that type of confidence in yourself, just get down, take a deep breath, get your composure, and when you kick up onto your hands, be prepared to be on your hands all the way through the finish line. Now, Mia.
My turn. Squat clean thrusters, that's really the one movement in the workout that most people won't have as much of a risk of failure if you push a little bit more on it. So be disciplined on it. They are more painful than the other movements, but you can keep on the bar, keep getting reps without risking, falling in the middle of a handstand walk or failing a bar muscle up. So come up with some sort of pacing plan, whether it's staying close to the bar or taking 2 breaths, counting to 5, and really hold yourself accountable there so that you don't lose too much time on those.
So that's all the movements. I think just from listening to those kind of separation value type concepts for each movement, you should understand that this workout is going to be highly individualized from a strategy standpoint. If you're not good at handstand walk, you're gonna have one strategy. If you're not good at bar muscle ups, you're gonna have another strategy. If you're not good at squat clean thrusters, you'll have another strategy. So make sure that you're really thinking about how to optimize your time in this workout, and also kind of keep the big picture in perspective that we just finished the Open. For most of us, that's really our only serious online qualifier style competition that we do each year. So you have almost a full year to practice, take some risks, don't really overstress whether or not you're failing, and just have some fun with regards to trying to figure out how to optimize what you have right now and how you apply that into a workout.
Yeah, and if you're struggling with some of these movements and you're interested in coaching, we do remote coaching at trainingthinktank.com. We also have the Design, which is our blog program. And if you're just interested in education and how to do warm-ups, how to write programming, you can look in the classroom. All of that, again, is at trainingthinktank.com. Project Pat, take us away.
It's a wrap, you know what I'm saying? Your boy Project Patar in this thing, man. Hey, look, man, thank y'all for watching Training Think Tank's YouTube channel. Y'all hit that motherfucking subscribe button, you know what I'm saying? So y'all go ahead, man. Thank y'all for watching the channel, you know what I'm saying? Hit that motherfucking subscribe button, let it be known, what it be known, what it be known, you know what I'm saying? Patar.